You can't stand for that? Welcome aboard. Well, the State of the Union was the other night. Everybody's seen a lot about it, but I'm going to put my take on it. This is Royce Williams. He was a pilot during Korea, and he was in a dogfight. Now, we don't really have a lot of dogfights these days because air to air missiles give us beyond the sight horizon targeting, and we're able to take planes out. This guy was in a dogfight, 7 Russian MiGs against him. He shoots down 3 planes, severely damages a fourth. So only 3 planes got away. He was getting orders to disengage and come back, and he was so engaged, he could not disengage. There were so many other jets fighting against him. On paper, Royce Williams should have been shot down within minutes, and he survived a 35-minute dogfight against 7 Russian MiGs. Now, decades later, the Russians released their documentation on this very specific dogfight. Only one of those 7 MiGs actually made it down. So in reality, he shot down 3 MiGs, damaged 3 more so severely that 6 of those 7 MiGs did not make it home. If anyone deserves the Medal of Honor, this 99-year-old man who bravely fought in the Korean War, whose plane received 263 bullet holes. And my understanding from my quick research is the plane was so damaged, they just shoved it off the aircraft carrier into the sea. It was unsalvageable. It was almost unflyable, and this man flew it back, landed on a carrier, and survived. He deserved a Medal of Honor. And what did the Democrats do last night? They did not stand. They sat. No, I'm sorry. I understand that in every single State of the Union, one side's going to stand for their guy and the other side is not going to stand. But there's certain things you stand up for in unity. And the Democrats who are screaming, oh, unity, unity, we need to come together. This is something you could come together for. And they did not stand. Are you saying you can't stand for that, Democrats? Really? You cannot stand for that. Okay, this is Scott Rissmiller. And if you remember the Texas floods not long ago, there were these campers, young female campers, who were trapped in the floods. This man is the one who saved 164 young campers. How young were they? The girl sitting right here, hopefully my pointer is showing, the girl sitting right there is now 11 years old, I believe. He saved her and 163 additional campers from drowning. And what do the Democrats do? They sit. They sit and they do nothing. Democrats, you can't stand for that in a unifying way. Really? What is your malfunction, Democrats? Now, this young lady here in the middle of your picture, right there, that young lady, her name is Megan Crowley. When she was born, she had a rare disease, and she should not have lived past 5 years old. But her father started a biotech company to cure this very rare disease. With a lot of these really, really rare diseases, Big Pharma will not spend the money to find the cures or at least a medication that can help these people survive. Her father found a company to do just that. As I said, she should have been gone by age 5. Instead, she is now in college because of her father's efforts, and her father's efforts are going to help not only her, but other people. She is now at the University of Notre Dame, and she lives today. I mean, this is not political. Democrats, what are you thinking? Are you saying you cannot stand for this young lady surviving? This wasn't political. This was human, being a human being who cares about other people. So this is the message I'm getting from you, Democrats. You don't care about human beings. Well, unless they're illegal aliens. You do not care about citizens. You do not care about the United States. You do not care about people. And Democrats, if you can't stand for this unifying moment, yeah, I get you don't like Trump. I get it. But if you can't stand for this, what can you stand for? This one is absolutely heartbreaking. So, because I think most people have actually seen the videos. A young Ukrainian girl, her name is Irina Zarutskaya. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, but Irina Zarutskaya is just going to work. She gets on a subway train and she's just sitting there. She sits down. She's one row in front of this man. And she's just looking at her phone. Didn't give him a dirty look, didn't interact, wasn't rude, didn't give him a look at all, just sat down to go to work, riding the subway. This could be anyone that gets on a subway, just anybody. And this legal Ukrainian immigrant, not that her status matters in this story, is sitting there, the guy behind her who had been released 18 times with no bail. 18 times he was arrested, and 18 times they let him go on no bail. He was out awaiting a trial for another charge. He just stands up after opening up a knife and unalives her by wounding her in her neck. This girl sat there in horror. Nobody helped her. I can't believe it. If I was there, I would have gotten up, taken off my shirt, put pressure on the wound, stopped the guy if I could. But the most important thing was saving her life. No one did. What is going on in this country that Democrats can't stand to honor this young legal immigrant? I guess if they were here illegally, the Democrats would be cheering. But this young lady and the lady in the middle with the dark hair, her right there, that's her mother. And watching that broke my heart because I have kids. Jeremy has kids. And if this would have happened to our kids, I don't know what I would do. This was one of the most heartbreaking stories I had read in a long time. Democrats, you should be ashamed of yourself because you could not stand for that. But hey, there's something we should all be able to stand for, and that's our sports teams. This is the United States of America hockey team. Now, we are not known for walking away with the gold in hockey. But guess what happened? In a miracle on ice, the United States of America, the country, our country walked away with the gold. And I'm sure the Canadians are like, well, silver shines just as much as gold. No, it's silver. It's not the gold. We walked away with the gold in hockey, and so did the women's team. Could the Democrats find unity within themselves to stand for the United States of America hockey team in the Winter Olympics? Could they do that? No. They could not stand for an American sports team. How disgusting. They could not stand to honor our own national team. So if they can't stand to honor a team of the nation, the whole nation, what can you stand for? You can't stand for that, Democrats. But here is the key. This is why everyone, and I mean everyone, should have doubts about the Democrats, because if you can't stand for this, you can't stand for anything. This is the moment that will be played in ads all across the country during the midterms. This clip speaks for itself.
One of the great things about the State of the Union is how
look at this guy.
Americans the chance
He's
to
just
see
sleeping there. This Democrat can't even pay attention.
Really believe.
Who is this
tonight,
guy?
I'm inviting every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
So let's see who's standing. The Republicans are standing. I think that's Fetterman. I think this right here might be Fetterman, but all these Democrats are not standing. Now, when it comes to history, the history of the world, the primary goal of any government, whether it is a democracy, a constitutional republic like us, a parliamentarian constitution like most democracies, whether it's a brutal dictatorship like North Korea, whatever it is, the primary goal of any government is to protect its citizens from outsiders. And the second goal of any government is to protect its citizens from each other. And the Democrats cannot stand for this. You can't stand for this, Democrats. This is disgusting. Democrats, or the Democrat Party, not the Democrat voters, but the Democrat Party, the leaders, they have abandoned America. They stand for people who do not have the legal right to be here. If I broke into your house and I took your money and you stood there and said, well, you deserve my money and you deserve my house, and you walked out, that's what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats no longer represent America, and I'm disgusted by it. And if you like what we're doing, hit like, hit subscribe. I want to hear what you think. What do you think about how the Democrats behaved? I'm sorry, you may not like Trump, but that's not what this video is about. It's about how the Democrats could not, for those clearly unifying moments in the State of the Union, they could not stand for those clearly American unifying moments. And with that, we'll see you at the next stop.